"You look like my dead wife," said the mechanic, his voice trembling as the wrench slipped from his hand and clattered to the floor. The young woman standing before him froze, confusion flashing across her face. She had only come in for an oil change, but now, the entire garage felt heavy with silence, like time had stopped for both of them. Her name was Emma. She was new in town, still trying to find her place after moving to a small Canadian town in Ontario. Life had been difficult lately. She had lost her job in the city, her car was falling apart, and her mother was sick back home. She was holding herself together with quiet strength, but that moment, when the mechanic looked at her like he had seen a ghost, shook her deeply. The mechanic, a man in his mid-40s with oil-stained hands and sad eyes, tried to gather himself. "I'm sorry," he muttered, wiping his palms on a rag. You look exactly like someone I lost years ago." "My wife, Claire." Emma didn't know what to say. There was grief in his tone, raw, unhealed grief. "It's okay," she said softly, forcing a small smile. "I get that sometimes. Maybe I just remind you of her." But the mechanic shook his head slowly. "It's not just your face. It's your voice. Even your necklace." Emma's hand instinctively went to the silver pendant resting against her chest, a small locket with a delicate engraving of a maple leaf. It had belonged to her grandmother. She never went anywhere without it. The mechanic's eyes widened, his breathing quickened. "That necklace, where did you get it?" Emma hesitated. "It was given to me when I was a child. My grandmother said it had been in our family for decades." "Why?" He took a shaky step forward, disbelief written all over his face. "My wife had that exact same necklace. I designed it myself for her before she passed away in an accident 13 years ago. There's only one like it." Emma felt the world tilt for a moment. "That can't be possible," she whispered. "It's been in my family since before I was born." The mechanic's hands trembled as he reached for a small drawer in the corner of the garage. He pulled out a faded photo, a smiling woman with kind eyes, wearing the same necklace. The resemblance was undeniable. Emma's heart raced. "How?" she began, her voice catching. "How could this be?" He swallowed hard. "My wife, she was pregnant when she died. They told me the baby didn't survive. But I never saw the body. Everything happened so fast, the hospital said there were complications." The silence that followed was almost unbearable. Emma felt tears welling in her eyes as something deep inside her shifted, an ache she never understood, a void that suddenly felt explained. Her grandmother had always refused to talk about her parents, saying only that she took her in after a tragedy. Her voice broke. "My grandmother, she told me my parents died in a car crash. But she never said who they were." The mechanic, his name was David, stood frozen, unable to breathe. His eyes glistened. "Emma," he whispered, "if what you're saying is true, then you're my father," she finished, her voice trembling. David stepped closer, tears streaming down his face, years of pain unraveling in a single heartbeat. He wanted to believe, but fear held him back. "I searched for years," he said. "Hospitals, records, nothing. I thought I'd lost everything. And now, you walk in here, with her necklace." Emma couldn't hold back anymore. She moved toward him slowly, and when their eyes met, it was as if time folded in on itself. The weight of years apart, the lost birthdays, the lonely nights, the unanswered questions, collapsed into one long, desperate embrace. For the first time in years, David wept openly. "I thought God forgot about me," he whispered against her hair. "I thought I'd never have a reason to live again." Emma held him tighter. "Maybe he was just waiting for the right moment," she said softly, "to bring us back to each other." Hours passed as they sat in the quiet of the garage, talking about everything, the years lost, the lives they had lived apart, the pain of never knowing. Emma learned that David had stayed in that small town, fixing cars, living with guilt and grief. She told him about her struggles, how she'd always felt like something inside her was missing. When she finally got up to leave, the sun was setting. David followed her to the door, wiping his tears. "You don't have to go," he said. "I know this is a lot, but, please, don't disappear again." Emma smiled through her tears. "I won't," she said. "I think I finally found where I belong." As she drove away, she looked in the rearview mirror and saw him standing there, his hands stained with grease, but his heart cleaner than it had been in years. And she knew, deep down, that this wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something new, something both of them had been waiting for all their lives. That night, David sat in his small kitchen, holding the old photograph of Claire in one hand and Emma's locket in the other. For the first time in years, he whispered a prayer, not of grief, but of gratitude. Life had given him back what he thought was lost forever. And miles away, Emma touched her necklace and whispered to the stars, "Mom, I found him." The world is full of broken things, hearts, memories, lives, but sometimes, just sometimes, fate finds a way to fix them again.